Hi, everyone, and welcome to Weather Impact Live. I am 10 Tampa Bay meteorologist James Gregorio. Thank you for joining me on this Sunday here, and it is a gorgeous Sunday once again, another beach and pool day in the offing here. So tons of sunshine outside, really shaping up nicely as we, in fact, make our way out and about here. Let's take a look at how we're faring. We're going to begin with a couple of cameras outside, and you know what? Tampa looking great. St. Pete looks awesome. So does Clearwater. Temperatures in the mid and upper 70s. Outside, it is fantastic as we make our way out. All right, another vantage point here. We're at a few more cameras to the mix. Bayshore looking great. TPA, Tampa International, looking fantastic. So does Armature Works. It is a beautiful Sunday outside developing. We had a little bit of fog earlier. That has dissipated, which is certainly good news. On the Futurecast here, as we roll through your afternoon hours, we're talking about a temperature of about 80 degrees at about 12:30 in the afternoon. 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, we see these temperatures climb to about 82 or so, moving in towards 3, 4 o'clock. Those numbers closer to 83. You know, sort of a sea breeze front developing here, pushing a few of those showers further inland, and you can see the convergence, if you will, of some of that rain moving off to the east, and then or at least the rain setting up in the middle of the state, I should say. The winds moving off to the east and coming in off the Atlantic, moving to the west. So we have this sort of convergence boundary here, sort of the sea breeze, and creating a little bit of forcing, if you will. And as a result, we're getting some showers to pop here tonight, 7 o'clock, 7:30, east of Punta Gorda, as we continue to watch a little bit of that rain kind of fire up there at 7:30, 8 o'clock. We see that line of rain continuing to fire up as well. You know, east of Orlando, making its way off to the east coast as well, into the Space Coast. We've got a few showers, some heavy downpours. We need the rain. All of Florida needs the rain. We would love to have it here in the Bay Area, but essentially not this time around. We had it yesterday. Tampa International had over an inch worth of rain. That was certainly good news. As we move in towards early tomorrow morning, you'll notice that by, very early, 4:30, 5, 6 o'clock, all looking good tomorrow morning, shaping up well. And then as we head in towards tomorrow afternoon, also looking good. So nothing to worry about there. Got a few isolated showers in towards the early overnight hours of Tuesday morning. A few clouds wafting on by, and you can see that scenario developing as well as we head in towards your Tuesday. All right, so don't forget the cup of coffee. Boy, if you're like me, kind of a slow start this morning. So had to grab another cup of coffee. 2 cups today at least. So, still in the 70s, muggy start. So the coffee start needed today. Visibilities, they are getting better. Winter Haven, Lakeland, Bartow, 10-mile visibility. We had a little fog in that area earlier this morning. That is drastically improved. But keep in mind, some of that was from the uptick in moisture, which we had last night, and a little bit of rain in spots. Notice where we had some of the heavier rain. TPA, you had over an inch. Right there, 1.12. Keep in mind, this is Doppler radar estimates. St. Pete at 64, 0.64, I should say. Not 64 inches. That'd be a lot. So a little more than half an inch. But Brooksville, you did fantastic. 2 inches worth of rain for you, Doppler radar estimates. So, but as we head towards Sebring, just enough there, a little more than 1/10 of an inch, a little less than 2/10 of an inch at 0.16. So, we had a little bit of fog in that portion of the state this morning. So, again, that's why we had some of the foggier conditions. Taking a look at temperatures for the most part, you know what? We expand that view, and the numbers are doing great. The Gulf temperature, 70, kind of starting out this morning at about 70. So that's a great number. I think, as we head in towards 2, 3 o'clock, that temperature continues to climb well into the upper 70s. Lower 80s, mid 80s even, or I should say from the upper 70s into the mid 80s. Winter Haven sitting at 75 right now. Bartow at 77, but Lakeland, you've got 79. Arcadia at 79 as well. So the temperatures are doing great. Here's sort of the bummer part of my spiel here this morning. Lakewood Ranch, you've got a dew point temperature and Riverview of 73 degrees. I mean, that's just air you can wear right there, especially for this time of year. It's March, and you've got a dew point of 73. Ugh, icky and sticky, no bueno there. I am not digging that for sure. So there it is, right in there, 73 degrees as we make our way a little further to the north. Port Richey, Land O'Lakes, Zephyr Hills, 72 on that dew point temperature. So no bueno on that either. Southerly winds kind of bringing in the moisture, bringing in the humidity. Those dew point readings just jacked up and through the roof. So that's the only downside, I guess, the forecast for today. I mean, we're going to get some much needed rain, but given that the atmosphere is so juiced up where we do see some of those rains, they will be tropical showers and capable of producing some brief heavy downpours. So, you know, we don't want the runoff. We don't want the potential anytime for flash flooding. But given the situation that we're in, given the drought, you know, I mean, we have to, you know, sort of make a deal with the devil, I guess. So if that's what it takes to get us the rain that we need, then, you know, we'll take it any way we can get it. So if it means it comes down fast and furious, then it is what it is. We're just going to have to be more careful, more cognizant, stay out of the rain, stay off the roads at that time if we can, and take the rain. And, you know, we need it because most of the state is under extreme drought. All of North Florida. Now, ironically, where we get a good chunk of that rain is not in the hardest hit area of Florida. In fact, from Tampa on over towards Lakeland, on over towards Winter Haven, on over towards Orlando, this portion of the state is one of the better off portions of the state. We still have severe drought, and to a certain extent, kind of right in the middle there, that's moderate drought. So that's really some of the lowest level of drought criteria across the state, except for a tiny pocket of far western Florida as we make our way. Actually, is that still in Florida? Let me grab my glasses here. So I'm trying to see on the map. No, I don't even think that's Florida. I think that's actually Alabama. So, so that actually is abnormally dry, but I think that's Alabama. So there we go. All of Florida is under moderate to severe drought to extreme drought. In fact, most of the state is extreme drought. So that's everything that's shaded in red here. So that's extreme drought, essentially all of North Florida and South Georgia, and then really South Tampa and South Bay area, a little further inland as well into Polk County, Hardy DeSoto, and then further southward. And you know, just a little south and west of Miami, maybe Aventura, you know, getting into the act, and then, you know, all the way through Punta Gorda, Fort Myers, Bonita Springs, Cape Coral, Naples, Marco Island, all of that. Sanibel under extreme drought as well. So it's more than 67% of the state under extreme drought. So again, my soliloquy aside, we need the rain. We really need the rain. At this point, we'll take it however it comes. If it comes in tropical drenching downpours, so be it. So we do need the rain. Speaking of the rain, are we going to get any rain over the next few days? And the chances, maybe 20% today. And I think chances are pretty good today. It's just not falling in the bigger metros, maybe Orlando, but really kind of south of Orlando and east of Tampa and St. Pete. So pretty much as you make your way maybe towards Lithia, in towards, you know, Bartow, into Frostproof, areas like that, you may get some rain, but they're really not the most populated portion of the state where perhaps we might need the rain a little bit more. As we head in towards tomorrow, Tuesday, and Wednesday, you know what, rain chances are very low, but the good news is those chances really start to pop as we make our way into Thursday. And that all comes with a cold front. Now, that cold front will drop our temperatures, but we are so above the norm for temperatures, we're only going to drop those back to about 80 degrees and the upper 70s. So, yeah, the normal 77. So we're still above the norm. We're just not as far above the norm once the cold front goes through. But the biggest takeaway and the best benefit from the front really is the rain. All right, we'll talk more about that coming up. We'll talk about some crazy weather going on across the United States and elsewhere. We're going to take it internationally when we come back on the other side of the break, spanning the globe. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
This autumn, give your home the upgrade it deserves. Save up to 20% during California Closet's Autumn Upgrade event, making it easier than ever to transform your space with our select finishes. Whether it's a walk-in closet, home office, pantry, or garage, our designs are about more than organization. They're about creating space for what belongs. We call it practical magic, expert design that feels effortless. Visit one of our 3 Tampa Bay showrooms or schedule your complimentary consultation today at CaliforniaClosetsTampaBay.com.
With a fresh new look and over 60 years of keeping Floridians comfortable, Cool Today is the name to trust for fast same-day service. Cooling, plumbing, and electrical. Our friendly expert technicians take the hassle out of home repair today. And Cool Today is here for you tomorrow, too. That's why we're introducing a parts and labor warranty on select AC systems for a lifetime. For cooling, plumbing, or electrical service, get the best from today and for years to come. Cool Today.
Windows are created and installed with different levels of quality. You need quality that can withstand the tropical climate. Our installers only install PGT custom windows and doors, so we are the go-to experts. Don't take my word for it. We have been named Best of Tampa Bay 3 years in a row, Reader's Choice in Sarasota 3 years in a row, and nationally recognized as Window and Door Dealer of the Year. Price is what you pay, but value is what you get. Give WeatherTight Windows a call today, and don't forget the cookies.
I was driving when a Ford pickup truck barreled into me from behind, sending me to the hospital.
I knew my husband was going to need an excellent attorney, so I called Dan Newland.
I'm so glad my wife called Dan. Dan really fought for me. He won my case and got me $650,000.
If you've been involved in a car accident, allow me to fight for you. Call me now at 813-888-8000.
Thanks, Dan, for winning my husband's case.
All right, everyone, welcome back here. You may have noticed gas prices starting to climb, and they've climbed a lot of late. Much of that is tied to the conflict in the Middle East, a region that supplies a large share of the world's oil. And now, as the war continues, there are reports of black rain falling in Iran after strikes on oil facilities sent thick smoke into the sky. Here's CNN's Fred Plechin in the field with more.
This is what Tehran is waking up to this morning. The sky above the city is covered in very thick black clouds. You can see that everywhere. That's the west of the city over there, and this is the north of the city. Normally, if you look to that direction, you could actually see the Alborz Mountains, but now all of that is also covered in clouds. That comes after major airstrikes in the south and the west of the city happened last night, where oil installations were hit, oil storage facilities. Apparently also a refinery might have been hit as well. And now you can see this morning that the sky is still very dark. We saw thick black plumes of smoke in the sky yesterday. There were massive fires in the south of the city. But I want to show you something else because it's also raining. But you can see that the rain water is actually black, also saturated, it appears, with oil. And then if we look over there, you can see that the water that's running down here also is black. So that's what's coming down this morning, this sort of oil-filled rain that we have right now on the Iranian capital after those strikes took place.
Ugh, that can't be healthy. All right. Thankfully, the rain we're getting here is a lot cleaner and certainly much needed, and we are grateful. All right, Futurecast here as we roll through the day into tomorrow. Tomorrow morning, waking up, we're about 64 degrees. You know, no rain really in the forecast. I don't think we see any rain for the most part during the daylight hours tomorrow or tomorrow evening. There could be some overnight tonight that lingers into technically your Monday morning, but once the sun comes up, and it's later, thanks to us springing forward, I don't think we see much in the way of rain during the daylight hours. That's 5 o'clock. There could be a couple hit and miss showers, and then the sun sets and things are pretty quiet as we head in towards your Tuesday morning and in towards the overnight hours. So, all right, so as mentioned, hopefully you turn those clocks forward 1 hour here this morning. So, yeah, we're talking about a sunset tonight at 7:35 p.m. So you've got a little more time to hang out after dinner, or you've got more time to hang out and grill and enjoy the extra period of daylight, that extra hour of daylight. Why not? Because we paid the price for it this morning. So you've already bought into that. So you've already paid for that. La cuenta por favor, I guess, right? Not the check, please. All right, so anyway, let's check out what's happening here. We're going to go back to the maps, and survey says there we go, and a nice little warm stretch heading our way. Let me stop this for a second. Bear with me, and we're going to rewind. We're going to show you what we're looking at sort of in the upper levels, and if this warmth is going to stick around or if it's not going to stick around. You know, it's been warm this past week and before. Things are starting to warm up, which is great. But the same old pattern, really, we're watching this warmth sort of move in towards the nation's midsection, really up through this ridge. And out to the west has been really, really warm as well. So that warm air has created issues, believe it or not, with bees. Let's take a look at how the bees have been faring with a unseasonably stretch of warm air.
Bees foraging among blossoms. Unusual because this is video captured in Colorado Springs when it's still winter and spring is still weeks away.
The bees at this time of year should be in a tight cluster, keeping themselves warm, riding out the winter.
And we want them to go into winter with about the equivalent of about 120 pounds of honey stores, which would be 2 of these big boxes on this hive.
Normally most domesticated honeybees will break cluster and they start flying about 45 degrees.
Leonard and Dolly Rickerman have been raising bees for decades. It's expanded into teaching others how to do it along with a small beekeeping business. This is video of all their beehives. They point out there's too many bees outside. It's the result of Colorado's extra warm winter.
Because they're out flying so much, they're consuming all the resources that are normally in the hive for them. And the big fear is this month and next month, there's a high probability of hives starving out.
All the movement burns energy. Finding more to eat, like on that one blossoming tree, is rare. Instead, most vegetation is still dormant. So they end up eating their stored honey.
It's disconcerting about this winter is people are coming in with their dead hives a lot earlier.
This day, the Rickermans have done what's called a hive autopsy. It's for another beekeeper. Starvation is the likely reason.
They just didn't have enough resources to survive the winter.
Extra warm days are also confusing queen bees. Some are laying eggs months early. If cold days hit or more bees continue to die from lack of food, odds are higher those young bees will be lost.
There's not enough nurse bees there to take care of them. They are going to die, yeah. And they have to be kept warm and fed and things like that. So it's a huge thing.
Wow, who knew? Who knew there were nurse bees? I've heard of busy bees. I've heard of apple bees. Anyway, I digress. All right, that warm air, Applebee's, that was a pretty good one, Noah. You know that was a good one, right? That warm air has created issues as well, not just for the bees, but also in more usual suspects like Tornado Alley and elsewhere in other parts of the country. We've seen tornadoes recently in Michigan as well. Let's take a look at some tornadoes that recently formed in not only Oklahoma and Michigan, but also in Texas.
The Harrington family were inside this camper trailer Saturday morning with their 2-year-old child when a storm blew the trailer on its side. The 3 were taken to the hospital and treated for minor injuries and later released.
Trying to get when the doors open, all the doors are jammed even though they're unlocked.
Bill Ramsey said he and his family were inside their Marion County house when the possible tornado came through the area.
And as we left the bedroom, the roof started coming off the house. The house slid 8 foot over there on one side. The house started moving sideways.
Ramsey said his house is completely destroyed, but he is fortunate that his family is still intact.
My house ain't worried about, but I was in tears thinking about how close my daughter came to dying.
The KSLA weather team was tracking storms all night long. It was Saturday morning when the radar detected a possible tornado near Longview, Texas. The tornado touched down in Marion County and the Prospect community.
But that 10 seconds felt like it took forever while we was in there.
Terry Roberts with Big Tech Storm Chaser said he was also tracking the storm.
I didn't know it was right behind me and started moving my truck around. And I looked behind me, I seen a couple power flashes.
Marion County Judge Louis LaFleur, has issued a disaster declaration for his county.
Like I said, I ain't worried about the house. I'm just, the vehicles, all that can be replaced. I'm just glad that me and my wife and daughter got out.
All right, yeah, so unfortunately that is a very real and probable risk this time of year when the clash of the air masses happen in severe weather season, and in areas like Texas and into the southern plains. That's the favored location. All right, everyone, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to be back with another quick block here, wrap things up for you on the show. Thanks for joining us. We'll be back after this.
This autumn, give your home the upgrade it deserves. Save up to 20% during California Closet's Autumn Upgrade event, making it easier than ever to transform your space with our select finishes. Whether it's a walk-in closet, home office, pantry, or garage, our designs are about more than organization. They're about creating space for what belongs. We call it practical magic, expert design that feels effortless. Visit one of our 3 Tampa Bay showrooms or schedule your complimentary consultation today at CaliforniaClosetsTampaBay.com.
With a fresh new look and over 60 years of keeping Floridians comfortable, Cool Today is the name to trust for fast same-day service. Cooling, plumbing, and electrical. Our friendly expert technicians take the hassle out of home repair today. And Cool Today is here for you tomorrow, too. That's why we're introducing a parts and labor warranty on select AC systems for a lifetime. For cooling, plumbing, or electrical service, get the best from today and for years to come. Cool Today.
Windows are created and installed with different levels of quality. You need quality that can withstand the tropical climate. Our installers only install PGT custom windows and doors, so we are the go-to experts. Don't take my word for it. We have been named Best of Tampa Bay 3 years in a row, Reader's Choice in Sarasota 3 years in a row, and nationally recognized as Window and Door Dealer of the Year. Price is what you pay, but value is what you get. Give WeatherTight Windows a call today, and don't forget the cookies.
I was driving when a Ford pickup truck barreled into me from behind, sending me to the hospital.
I knew my husband was going to need an excellent attorney, so I called Dan Newland.
I'm so glad my wife called Dan. Dan really fought for me. He won my case and got me $650,000.
If you've been involved in a car accident, allow me to fight for you. Call me now at 813-888-8000.
Thanks, Dan, for winning my husband's case.
All right, everyone, welcome back. Last day of the Strawberry Festival today. So if you're thinking about getting out there or you haven't been out there yet and you want to head out towards Plant City, it is a fantastic day. About 85 degrees at 3 o'clock. 6 o'clock, we're at 81. And then by 9 o'clock, we're at 73 degrees. So some great stuff shaping up. If you haven't been out there, certainly a good time. And all things strawberry weather. Strawberry shortcake. I'm sure you can get a strawberry milkshake, because it's hot today. All that sort of stuff. And some strawberry lemonade. You name it. You can get it, and sounds like a really, really fun time if you make your way out there. All right, so we do have a really humid go over the next couple of days. Notice on Thursday that humidity stays elevated and then just drops off like a cliff. That is the cold front, which is coming through here. That frontal boundary will, of course, bring us a cooler shot of air, at least for a day, maybe day and a half. So later Thursday into Friday, we get a little break in the action. It does get a little cooler as well, which is certainly good news. Let's get you a check of that marine forecast. If you are heading to the beach today, it is a fantastic go. Southeastern winds at about 5 to 10 knots, seas about a foot. And the bay is smooth. There are no advisories. That Gulf temperature of about 70. Sunburn index is an 8. So make sure you throw on that sunblock, certainly coming up here. And it looks like we're going to stay warm for the next couple of days, really. All right, so going back to our kind of upper air look here, where the jet stream is, where the warm air is, and where the cold is. So you don't see any significant sort of Arctic outbreaks here. So that cold air will stay nicely confined to portions of Canada. And then, we get a little drop in some of the cooler air south of Billings and Minneapolis. And for the most part, I think that cold air is locked up into Canada, and we're not going to see too many more moves further south. We get a little dip, from Minneapolis with some of the cooler air, chillier air, but not the Arctic air. So no grays really, or no purples. Those are locked up into eastern Canada, kind of staying there. And again, as we move towards Thursday, notice that dip in the jet stream here. The ridge builds in out to the west. You see the yellows and the greens sort of spiking out to the west. That, of course, is the warm air, which is allowing the west once again to be well above normal and certainly on the warmer side, a pattern we have seen pretty much all winter long. All right, your forecast for today, about 85 going to do it. Hot and humid. Showed you those dew point temperatures of around 70. It's icky and sticky as you make your way out. Tonight, 67 does it, partly cloudy. The rain, where it does fall, is coming to an end, and it predominantly falls a little further inland. And then tomorrow, hot temp, about 85, mostly sunny. It is still muggy outside. You know, I think we're going to have sort of the muggies for the next couple of days. It's not going to be unbearably humid, but you'll notice it. And a check of that 7-day forecast here as we head in towards your Monday, 10% chance of showers. Tuesday and Wednesday, high temperatures will climb into the mid to upper 80s. And then by Thursday, shower and storm chances are here. That's that cold front. Most importantly, we need the rain. Moving in towards Friday and Saturday, look for high temperatures around 80 degrees or so. So Friday's high of about 80, still above the norm. Thursday, you know, that's right after the front comes through, and that's a significant drop from Wednesday. We're still above the norm as well, and then we continue to tack it on.